and the promotion systems and everything, you pay a certain amount of money to get yourself out there.
No. Stop. Don't. That's a bullshit excuse. Don't use it. I won't let you have it. Number one, God bless you for your service. Okay. For sure.
My pleasure.
I mean that. Number two, the pricing article that I put in the chat, I want you to read that. Okay. As soon as this ends, and I'm not kidding, as soon as it ends, like as soon as you get out of here, go and read it. The long and the short with pricing is you have to have prices from $0 to $100. You have to have prices from 100 to 1,000, and then you have to have prices over 1,000. Okay. In the article, I talk about how you go about doing that and how you go about getting there. What you find psychologically, though, is that when you have the range of prices and people understand that you have a range of prices and they can see what they get for their money, it eliminates a lot of this sticker shock, guessing, freak out scenarios, right? And when you have the range, you don't get lowballed and you don't get messed with as much, because it's like, you've got something for sale in the store for $1,500, and they're like, man, I really like that. Would you take 1,000? You could be like, yeah, I don't really negotiate, but I can show you, what $1,000 does get, right? And it just clears so much of it up so instantaneously. But ultimately, and I also put this in the article, the work has to sell. The work has to sell. If the work doesn't sell, there's another problem going on. And the problem doesn't necessarily mean that you're a crappy artist, okay? It just means whatever you're selling at that particular moment in time, the market is not really resonating with. And one of the things that they never teach any of you guys in art school, which I wish they would teach you in art school, is that, and I didn't even realize my camera is completely shut down. I'm just having like problems for days today. What they never teach you in art school is that Pablo Picasso, when he died, had 47,000 unsold works in his inventory. 47,000. Do you know what that guy did? Sometimes he made stuff that didn't sell. Do you think it let him, did he let him crush him or bother him or hold him down? No, absolutely not. He realized that being a successful artist, and that no one ever teaches this either, is more or less a game of archery, okay? It's how many arrows you fire at the target. And if you're just firing one, this is what most artists do. They're like, this is what I want to create. This is what inspires me. This is what I feel creatively fulfilled doing. And then they take the product to market, and it either doesn't sell at all, or it sells but only occasionally, and the business is not mapping to their expectations, and they're like, art doesn't sell. This is worthless. I give up. When in reality, you just haven't leveraged your creativity to something that the market wants. And so the article that I sent you will really help like articulate that. But you'll find that once you get your pricing in order, under $100, non-wall art, 100 to 1,000, and I talk about what you need to do to get it there, and then over 1,000, everything sort of irons itself out, and you're in a much better position to capture business, no matter who comes in at what scale or what anything. Like these people that are interested, once you have the range and they look at the range and they sort of self-select on the range, you're going to be in a much better place. Trust me, much better place.
Okay, and so should I still be worried about finding a particular niche?
No. No.
Just
early on, early on, you don't have any damn idea what your niche is, and no one can tell you what your damn niche is because you haven't gotten the work in front of enough eyeballs yet. So what you do is you work regular and consistently at your marketing. You try a couple of different styles, and you see what gets the most feedback. What you might find, okay, and what I find with our customers is every scenario known to man, okay? I'm not kidding when I say this. Every scenario known to man. I get some people that, no joke, they do photography, they do art, they do textiles. It's different styles. It's crazily discordant. It doesn't matter. People follow them because they like what they do creatively, and these people have no niche whatsoever. On the other end of the scale, I get people that do one thing and one thing only, and everything looks the same. And the minute you look at one, you're like, okay, I know exactly whose work that is, right? And you can tell in 2 seconds. And they have a great deal of success. And then I see every scenario in between, too. What you don't know is what you don't know. And you'll never know until you do enough marketing, and then you might get into a situation where a little bit of everything sells, in which case you don't have a niche. They just like you and they like your creativity. You might find out that 80% of your revenue is coming from 20% of the stuff that you do. If you get into that scenario, then I'm going to be like, Danilo, I think this 20% is your niche, dude. This is producing 80% of your revenue. I want you to go all in on this. But you can't make that decision until you've been at it for long enough, because you'll never know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Read that article, no joke. I mean, just get off of this thing and go read that article and then put that into place. I'm telling you, it is a utter, total, and complete game changer. You'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so true. It'll help you right away.
Sounds good, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, dude, and thanks again for your service. Awesome. I love that question. I get that a ton. And awesome, Matt jumped off the stream and then jumped onto Facebook to tell me where he heard of me. How I found you. I was looking through Apple Podcasts and info about selling art on Etsy. Then I scrolled a little. Boom. Awesome. Now I know. Thank you for telling me, Matt. What else, guys? Questions? Questions on a Friday? Can be anything about anything? No? Quiet bunch today? Okay, well, while you guys are contemplating it, I'm going to send you, like I said, a replay. It'll have a bunch of follow-up stuff that you can check out, that you can investigate, that you can dig in on. And, if you just found out about us, podcast is a great place to start. It's called the Art Marketing Podcast. You can find it absolutely everywhere. It's pretty awesome. And then, if you're interested to see what we do, what Art Storefronts does at a business, highly recommend you request a demo. And it's like a 1-hour Zoom call that they walk you through all the bells, all the whistles, all the everything. Okay, Denise has a question. I don't really understand it, Denise, so I got to unmute you. You'll just need to hit the mute thing, Denise, if you can. And Arlene on Facebook is asking, is it a good idea to have a commission page? Yes, absolutely it is a good idea to have a commission page. And in fact, I go as far to recommend it to 100% of my customers, even if they have no desire whatsoever to even take a commission. Because what a commissions page does is it is giving you people filling out a thing that have their money up like this saying, take my money. I like what you do. I do, but it's not working for me. This is what I will give you money on right now. And whether you take the commission or not, it's an idea machine for new directions that you might want to try, or new things, new areas, endeavors that you might want to go in. So that's what I would say, Arlene, get one up right away, even if you have no intention of ever taking the commissions. That's like how important it is. It's crazy. Yeah, Denise, you're going to have to. So how does one figure out what to request for a mural of about 320 feet? Are you asking me how to charge for that? I think if you're asking me how to charge for that, is that what you're asking, Denise, how to charge for it? Here, you get a, yeah, I can see you now. You need to just, yeah, I got you.
That's basically what I'm asking is how do you, I mean, I'm learning about the negotiation, and I'm wondering, do you have clients that use Art Storefront for advertising for murals, or is it basically for pre-existing artwork?
No, we have a ton that actually do murals too as part of their business. It's hard to make it just doing murals because the murals are it's not like you get one mural request a day and you can do one in a month, right? Like, so
Right.
most of them are trying to figure out some other artistic things that they could sell, and figuring out ways to be intentional about that. But in terms of what to charge for the mural, like at its base, there's not really like a tried and true formula that you can use, especially you can guesstimate how much paint you're going to use per square foot and figure out how many hours it's going to try to do and come up with some mathematical formula, really. But at the end of the day, you look at the mural job and you get the job, right? You get the job for as much money as you can that they're willing to pay. And there are some like normal rates, but I would probably calculate the cost, and I haven't asked any of our customers that do murals what they charge, because it's not a huge part of what we have going on. But I would figure out at the bare minimum what my material costs are, and I would mark them up 250%, and I would probably start with that as a baseline. General good rule of thumb.
As the entire price, then 250% of the cost of materials, or what you said prior to that about figuring out what you want to make per hour and how long it would take to execute.
Yeah, I mean, really what I would do is I would look at the wall and I would be like, I'm never going to go below this number, and I would figure out what your minimum is based on what right? And then I would probably double that and go into the negotiation that way. It's probably what I would do. It's probably like the easiest way to do it, because they're going to look at you and they're going to be like, okay, here are the 3 people we have for murals. Denise is charging $5,000, and this other 19-year-old kid's charging $2,500. Which one do we want to use, right? Like,
Yeah.
I know those scenarios happen more than anything else, and I bring that up under the lens of everybody's looking for like some sort of magical formula on what to charge, and it's like you spend all the time doing that, and then you don't get the damn job because you were priced too high. So it's better to go into the scenario with like, here's my minimum that I would take to do this, double it, try to start the negotiation there, and then take a temperature read, and then drop down to somewhere above your minimum that you're willing to do it for, and you're happy, right?
Right. So it's like choreography, so sort of a dance. All right.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
or it's like cooking where you adjust to taste, right? Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. It is a little bit like a commission because there's a feedback loop
For sure.
to some degree.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you
So
got to get some other revenue sources because, and
right.
it's funny that this is why you got to love the crowd, right? $10 per square foot plus material times 3 is Larry Schultz's formula for it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So there's one, and you can see how
Very
it works. I mean, I
excellent.
think, yeah, and everyone's saying thanks, Larry. So you can come up with whatever formula you want, but and Larry's is maybe a good one to start with, and you could see what the numbers pan out to be. But again, the formulas are only as good if you get the damn job, right? So you don't want to lose the job. So that's what I'd say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good luck. Send me an email. Let me know if you get the gig. All right. Well, if that does it, guys, we will wrap that up and leave it there. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to fire them away. Hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful weekend. I'm going to send you, well, you're on my email list already, so you'll get this sometime next week. You'll get this ultimate guide to shows and fairs. I'm telling you, this thing is an amazing piece of content. One of the best we put out in quite some time. So I'm excited to share it with you guys. All right. On that note, I hope you guys all have wonderful weekends. Send you the replay in a little bit. Hope to see you on the inside or on a future session. And, yeah, have a great weekend, everybody.